Jeffery Davies from Dignity Health St. John's Medical Center. Doctor, good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Hey, Irene, good morning.
So what are the kinds of snake bites that you see the most often in the ER?
Most of the bites we see are, foot, ankle, hand, people who tend to walk with sandals and decide to use that as their primary hiking shoe.
And what are the most venomous snakes that you'll find in Southern California? And where are we most likely to run into these?
Fortunately in California, there's about 50 types of snakes, but the only venomous snake is the rattlesnake, and there's about 9 species. It's funny, I was just mountain biking this weekend. Sure enough, right across the path, was a rattlesnake just hanging out.
Yeah, I saw one the other day on a hike, and I was like, oh, okay, it is definitely snake season. So a lot of people will be running into them as we enter those summer months. So let's say you do get bitten by a snake. Let's bust a few myths here about what to do if that does happen. In movies, we see people trying to suck out the venom, cutting open the wound, or using some sort of tourniquet. Are any of those good ways to treat a snake bite?
So the short answer is all bad ways, and there's even, creative ways. I've heard of people trying to electrocute their snake
Oh my
bite
goodness.
wounds. So people have come up with some really creative ways throughout the years and even across the world. But the bottom line is none of those methods have been shown to help. If anything, the common denominator is they probably make things worse.
So we've also heard this one a lot as well, that you should bring the snake to the ER so doctors know how to treat it. Is there any truth to that one?
It's always good to identify the snake, but what I saw or what I've seen, especially when I worked out in the desert in Palm Springs area, is people would try to catch the snake. And that's actually a very common way when people get bit again or other people get bit, usually when they're trying to capture or kill the snake. So, we all carry phones now. If you can take a picture from a safe distance, that's the best. Do not try to catch the snake or kill the snake. That's definitely when more bites occur.
I definitely feel that if I was bit by a snake, that would be the last thing on my mind of trying to catch it and be in more pain. So I'm glad that we clarified that. Now, if someone is bitten that you're with, what is the correct way to go about this?
So, the best thing to do would be first remove any jewelry, if they have rings, if they have bracelets, any tight fitting clothing. A lot of the time when bad things happen is when they try to stay at the scene and treat the wound. Go to the nearest ER. Ideally, if you can call ahead, make sure they have the anti-venom, Crofab, et cetera, available. Obviously, if things are very severe, you want to call 911. But basically, keep them calm. You can put a cool dressing. Don't freeze. Don't cut. Don't don't electrocute. Don't burn. Just immobilize the bite and go to the closest emergency room.
Now, you mentioned to call 911 when things are severe. What would you consider severe symptoms, and how much time should we allot for ourselves to get to an ER?
That's a great question. And there's certain areas of your body that are high risk. Face, neck, there's high risk groups, children less than the age of 12, elderly above the age of 65. So those groups tend to be a little more high risk. I would say ideally within a half an hour, 15 minutes would be great. It's important to note that not all bites, again, are from venomous snakes like rattlesnakes. Not all bites are venomous, right? Even rattlesnakes can have up to 25% dry bites is what we call. But the point is you just don't know. You don't know, and you need really a health professional to watch and track and see if you're a candidate for antivenom.
And if you are spending a lot of time outdoors this summer, what are the best ways to avoid getting bitten in the first place?
Yeah, so I'd say the first thing is shoes, hiking boots, no sandals, look before you step. Think where the snakes like to hang out, right? They like to hang out in rock piles, wood piles, even around your house. Anything that's, a lot of shrubbery, keep that in mind. You want to keep that clear. Look before you sit. That's kind of a common thing. Snakes, I heard it's going to be hot out. They want to come out and sunbathe. So don't just, sit on a tree stump or rock. Look before you sit.
And
And you have to remember, even though Indiana Jones is afraid of snakes, snakes are an important part of the ecosystem. So they're important to keeping the rodent population in check. They're food for other animals. So, we need that balance, right?
they definitely do play a very important role in our ecosystem. And last question for you. I know we're trying to keep ourselves very much safe, but also our pets when we're out there hiking, bringing them out for a walk. How do we keep them safe as well from snake bites?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, especially around your house and snakes will wander in on your property. One, if you hear your animal getting excited, probably go check it out right away. If there's a snake on your property, likelihood it's just passing through. Obviously, get the pets inside, kids inside for at least an hour. Just being aware, don't let them, I've had a dog and they love to just go explore and they like to smell every bush and check out every crevice. So, just be aware when you're taking them out, keep them on a leash, especially in the high risk areas when hiking is probably the biggest thing. And, obviously stay on the trails.
Yes, they get very excited and very brave as well. Dr. Jeffery Davies, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks, Emery.